everybody, to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm your host, Lady JB, and we are igniting lives, igniting possibilities, and igniting you with ways that you can ignite humanity. Now, some people are saying, ignite humanity, what's that? Well, it's all about the ways that you can step into a greater version of you. And we talk about it each and every day. Monday through Friday, we're talking about ways to ignite humanity because it is the responsibility of all of us to step into different things that we can do to ignite one another. Now, it can start with our family, and it can start with our friends and our spouses and the people closest to us, but the whole idea is that when you ignite yourself, you actually empower others to ignite them. And it's like that candle, that never-ending candle, that flame that lights another flame, that lights another flame. You can be the person to light someone else's flame and inspire them to go on to do something that helps them in their lives. And guess what that means? They can light the flame for somebody else who can light the flame for somebody else. And that is truly what's going to ignite humanity. All of us coming together, creating camaraderie and compassion and understanding of one another. That's what's going to heal humanity. We don't need policies. We don't need restrictions. And we don't need demands. What we need is to come together and understand each other in a compassionate way, in a way that allows us to really realize that it's not the color of our skin. It's not the color of our hair. It doesn't even matter what language we speak. We are speaking the international language of humanity, of individuals, of the human consciousness, and the fact that when we all rise up, we rise up one another. In fact, there's so many analogies of when the boat lifts, when the water rises, all the boats rise. And when the hive moves together, the whole hive produces. And so I want you to think of ways in your life that you could start igniting yourself. And by doing that, you can ignite others. And igniting others really allows us to make the big impact. And folks, we can make a big impact, and that's going to leave a legacy. I love to talk about legacy because what is going to happen after my life, your life, what is going to carry on for the next generations? And for those of us who have kids, we want to be thinking about the next generation because we want our kids and the generations to come to have a beautiful place to live and a place to enjoy. And that is all about igniting humanity. Well, today we're going to talk about ideas. It's Monday. So ideas are ways that you can do something small and incremental to improve your life and the lives of others. We're going to give you some great ideas with our guests because we bring fabulous guests every single day. Now, today we're in Los Angeles and we're doing something live. And that's kind of fun on location, so you can see us here in the studio. I'm bringing some great guests to you to talk about ways that they are igniting humanity so that you too feel inspired. Well, before we get on to that, I just want to remind you, if you want to check out everything we're up to, go to ignitehumanity.life/watch, and you can see all of our episodes, all the episodes that we've done up till now. And of course, you can watch a recording of today's episode. And if you are somewhere where I didn't get to see it live, JB, well, guess what? You can watch us live on Facebook. Just pick up your phone, your tablet, your computer, and just go to Ignite Television on Facebook, and you too will see us live there. And of course, our VOD channel, where you can go get video on demand and you can see it all. So we want to make it accessible. No excuses, folks. You can ignite humanity in all kinds of different ways because this content is free to you. There is no cost. There is no retargeting. There is nothing. We don't share your content. We just simply want you to ignite humanity and make a big difference. All right, well, let's get into our guest. Super excited to have somebody here on the show. You're going to be amazed at what he's up to. Lou Corona, founder of Puradyme. Puradyme. I love that. It's a little play on words, right?
Well, they asked me, what's the name of the company going to be? And I said, well, I know it's going to be, because we went through thousands of names, right?
I bet.
And so when they asked that question, when the time was up, what's the name going to be? And I said, well, it's going to be one word, and it's going to represent the vision that we have. And they said, okay, so what's the vision? I said, well, the vision is for us to create a paradigm shifting consciousness in how people live today through these 4 principles. And so...
And do it in a pure way, right?
So my nephew was there. The family was there.
Got it.
And my nephew was there. And Dave said, Puradyme. And I wrote it down. And I thought, wow, Puradyme, pure thinking, pure heart, pure body, pure connection with God, pure lifestyle. I mean, it was just, and then the last 3 letters was YME, which is the last 3 letters of enzyme, which I'm heavy into enzymes. I'm like the enzyme guy, So, and it just all tied in together. So, but it sounds like, it sounds like Puradyme. It has that sounds like, but Puradyme, what a concept. And it just, so for me, it resonated and I was inspired by it. And I said, that's it. That's the name of the company. Puradyme.
I love it.
That's where it came from. So when people have a Puradyme shift, their whole life is transformed, just like mine was. So once you get to understand the 4 principles, of course.
Right. Yeah. And Puradyme for me is like a little bit of an ignite moment because it just sort of, when you heard it, it's sort of, that's it. That's what I want to
I was ignited for sure. Yeah.
And so Puradyme, enzymes, paradigm, pure, there's a lot of concepts in there for people to understand. I mean, some people are just struggling to get up in the morning and they're struggling to just figure it out. And sometimes a lot of us have tools, but we don't know how to implement them or we get tuckered out. What are some of the things, I know you have these fabulous 4 principles. Give us one that you think that the viewers will be most excited about, the one that they can start implementing today, because I'm all about action in today.
Well,
they're consecutive. They work together.
They do, but I'm going to say for me, it started off with when I was a little boy. I turned to God and I said, I need you to give me a purpose, something that you want me or need me to do while I'm here in this life. And whatever experience, whatever I need to go through to get it and see it and feel it and adopt to it and do whatever it is that I'm here to do that you have in mind for me, bring it on. Just have me go through whatever experience I need to go through so I can get it and see it and know it, so I can grab it and run with it, kind of thing. And unbelievable experience. I'm 16 at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you were young.
I was a little boy. I said that. But when I was 16, I was hit while I was driving my motorcycle, and the bumper hit my leg, and I got shot 60 feet. And this much of my upper leg was crushed.
Wow.
Crumbled up in little tiny pieces. So that much of my bone was gone on my femur bone, the upper leg. And so the doctor said it was miraculously that that I lived through that. But he said, when he put the rod in my leg, he said, if it heals, it's going to take a year. If it doesn't heal, we're going to have to amputate.
Wow.
So then, I asked God to step in and help me with this. And so 3 weeks later, I went for the checkup and my leg was all healed, like brand new. And then I was so thankful and so excited I could walk and run again, right? But right after that, I was given a dream every single night for a year. I saw 7 wellness centers in different parts of the world, and they had facility, gardens and orchards and beautiful people there. And people came from all over the world to help heal people.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we need to heal, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It took me a year to come to the conclusion, because every day I was wondering, why am I having this dream over and over and over and over? But a year later, I came to the conclusion that was God's way of showing me a projection of my future, where he sees me going and what I'm going to be doing with my life. And I got it. It took me a while to get it, but I got it.
Right.
And then I made a vow that's what I would do with my life. So then when I was 21, I came down with chronic constipation. I became toxic. I ended up with a big tumor behind my head, acne, asthma. I had pain in my joints. I felt like I was dying. And then I got to the point where I was dying in bed. And then I had this experience where, because I asked God, what's causing all this? And
right.
What are solutions? Or what can I do about it? And all of a sudden, I had this tingling warm sensation just rushed in my body. And then I had this reflection of my life. And I was taken back when I was a little boy, making this request that I had wanted to die when I was little, because I had been heavily abused when I was little. And I didn't have any reason to live at the moment. And so when I caught that, I realized, I was the one who asked.
Right. You set that ball in motion.
I did, and I caught it. I realized that. And so then I came back to God and I said, yes, I did want to die when I was little.
Then,
but I don't want to die now. I changed my mind, right? And then I said, but I want to fulfill that purpose you gave me, that I promised I would do. So I want you to show me what to do, how to get well. Just teach me what causes illness, what causes what I'm suffering with, solutions, and how to live from now on. And all of a sudden, I had this tingling, warm sensation just run through my body. I was covered by this light, and the Lord was next to me like a being of light, and I was given instructions. I was told who we are. I was told what to do, how to do, and given instructions of these 4 principles I talk about. And then I woke up the next day excited and thankful, and I applied them. And within 6 months, everything went away. Never came back. In 50 years, I've been well, and I haven't even worked out at the gym for 53 years. And for not working out.
Yeah. Wow, look at that.
There's energy, there's strength, there's excitement. You know what I mean? But that's what I want for everybody on the planet to have.
There's a lot to unpack there, and it's beautiful. First of all, what I love is that ignite moment. That moment that made you cry. That moment that was so visceral and so cellular for you. And I think that's beautiful because a lot of us have those ignite moments right there in our throat, right there in our entire being. And we push them away. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to cry. We don't want to show vulnerability. And yet it's our ignite moments that are that fuel, that incredible part of us, that vulnerable earth, soul, consciousness, galactic, like all intertwined. And I just want to honor you for just dipping into that and showing us and letting us all be a part of it. I think that's so beautiful. And not enough of us really value the ignite moments. Because when God, Spirit, universe, when you get those messages and that mission, divinely given to you, I think it's beautiful that you recognize it. And I want to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you for listening, and whoever's listening to this conversation. But just know that the Lord somehow inspired me, inside me to take this on, and just continually share these 4 principles ongoingly, because they're just simple but powerful teachings that go way back in time. That freed me.
In the big consciousness, they came to you and freed you. And I think it's neat too, because a lot of us have different examples of what we believe in. And there is one source, or there's this one creative source, and we can call it whatever name we want. But we do get those messages, and we do get those instructions, and we do get those downloads. And sometimes we don't listen to them. And maybe, the first time you heard it, you didn't listen, and then you had your accident, and then the second time maybe, and then you had more illness. It was until you really listened to it and asked. And I think that's a big part of it, is asking for direction. You asked.
I did. And that's really the key ingredient that I would say, or message that I would say, is we need to take that time to turn to God. Mm-hmm. And my mom, I'm telling you, when I was 10, she told me, she said, son, you remember when I was in that accident, my body was all broken up and I was in a cast from the neck down, and they told me I'll never walk after I heal. And then she said, I turned to God and I asked God to heal my body and make me whole and complete so I could take care of my 6 kids. I was just one of them. And she completed that in Jesus' name. And then all of a sudden, she had this tingling warm sensation run through her body. Wow. And she was healed.
Similar to yours.
Yes. Wow. And she's the one who instilled that into me.
That it's possible.
That is possible.
It's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when I had all this stuff going on, and I did the same thing, and then I had that experience, and then I was healed, not just from that leg thing, but also all these sicknesses and stuff I had going on. I was healed. Mm. But he also taught me these 4 principles that are something that all of us can do if we choose to, right?
Well, the viewers are going to be going crazy over the 4 principles, and I'd love for you to share a little bit, but I just also want to keep them tantalized they reach out to you. But one of the cool things about what you also said is that you didn't falsify or negate the message you were given? Because I think a lot of us do get that message. In fact, some people feel like, well, God doesn't speak to me, or I don't get the downloads, or I never feel it. But a lot of times we do, and we push it away and we negate it. Can you speak to the people who are listening to you right now and being like, how is that possible? Or how come he got it and I didn't?
Well, that's a great question. I remember when before the accident happened, the motorcycle accident, as I was driving my motorcycle, I just got off work and my boss gave me a week off vacation 4 months early because he said I was the best employee he ever had. So that's what he gave me for my birthday. And I was really excited about that. And my dad gave me for my birthday, was going to give me a week to go camping with him, just us, for a week. And so I was driving home and I was excited and I was so thankful. And I could hardly wait for that moment to have that experience with my dad and go camping and stuff. And as I was driving my motorcycle, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, but I actually had a premonition where I saw the whole accident. I saw a motorcycle accident with me in it. I saw it in my mind, very clear. And it's not something that everybody has every moment, and it doesn't happen to me every moment either, but I had it that moment. I saw a motorcycle accident. I saw myself getting hit. I saw myself flying in the air. I saw the whole accident in the intersection I was getting ready to go into.
Wow.
I saw it in my head, and it was very clear. And I was so happy before. When I saw that, in my mind while I'm driving my motorcycle, and I'm just, quite a distance still yet from the intersection, but I thought, where'd that come from? Why am I seeing that?
Wow.
I questioned it, right?
Yes.
Like when you talk about questioning, and I questioned it. And then after that, I was actually told to pull over the side of the road, park, and just wait till the next light proceeds to prevent this accident that's about to happen. I was told that.
It's great.
It's
great that you heard it, right? Because I think that's awesome. That's amazing.
Somehow that happened, but I caught it, but I didn't do anything with it.
Oh,
this is the thing.
right?
This is the thing. So some of you that's listening to me, sometimes we're being instructed or guided or shown things, and we don't listen.
Right.
But anyway, so I blew it off, I keep going, and sure enough, I go inside that intersection, and I got hit, and I went flying in the air, just like I saw before.
Wow.
And I was about 60 feet, they measured later. And then when I woke up from the accident, I remembered this experience when I came back to consciousness. But when I remembered it, then at that moment, I realized that was God talking to me. And I realized, oh, if I only would have listened. Do you know what I mean? And so when that happened, I said, God, Father, I realized now you were trying to warn me, but I didn't get it. But now I get it. But first of all, I just want you to know I'm sorry. I just didn't know. I just didn't realize you can show us things before they happen, or warn us and guide us and all that. I didn't know. So please forgive me.
Wow.
For being ignorant, I just didn't know any better. But I know one thing, from here on out, if you show me something or guide me or whatever, I'm in.
I'm listening.
I'm listening, you know what I mean?
Well, and what I appreciate that, and I would say to people, yes, listen, when you get those messages, they're there for a reason, absolutely. But you also live a very pure life in the sense, and going back to Puradyme, you eat pure, you breathe ways, you have a very pure lifestyle. Can you talk a little bit about how we get more connected to ourselves, to something higher and bigger than ourselves? And again, folks, you're like, how does this dial into humanity? Well, when we are connected to ourselves and we are living a more pure life, we can be the mirrors for others.
I have been humbled, believe me. But when he healed my leg within 3 weeks, first of all, I was humbled by the whole experience. But when my leg was healed, so when you see tears come out of my eyes, it's not from sadness. It's tears of joy. It's tears of being so grateful that I can hardly stand it. It's like that. So I'm that grateful.
Yeah.
Like that. So pardon me for tearing up on you, but it's like I can't even help it.
Yeah,
it's like that. It's when I get in that space.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get out of it so I can talk a little bit. You know what I mean? But
we honor you.
But here's the thing. So this is very simple and it's very powerful. But just like my mama taught me, If I was going to say anything to anybody on the planet that hears this conversation, as simple as I'm going to say it, but if somehow you can instill this into yourself and allow it to come inside you, if you can open up and surrender yourself to God that actually governs all the entire universe itself, and make your request, whatever it is, whether you're looking for a purpose in this life, whether you're looking for healing in your life, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, whatever it is, but whatever it is that you need, and you leave it. Now, I'm going to say it in Yeshua's name because that's the name that I know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you leave it in His name, it gives us so much power. It's beyond measure. And, I've been so humbled, I can't even tell you. But so when I was having all these different illnesses, and I opened up to asking, God for healing and understanding, and I left it in the Lord's name, all of a sudden I was shown these things. And the thing is, the next day when I woke up, I didn't even know how to, go about it. And I asked for understanding, deeper understanding. I asked for the courage to change my ways because believe me, I came from a very conventional life, Mm-hmm. So for me to learn how to love and forgive all the people in my past that ever hurt me or took from me or whatever, to love them and forgive them and accept them and to anoint them with love and have compassion for them, that was an art in itself.
Right.
That took a lot for me to do that.
And the keys to igniting humanity. I mean, you just said a lot of things: love, compassion, understanding, forgiveness. I mean, those are some of the core principles in the way.
Very core. That's part of the first principle. Mm-hmm. And I was shown how to think in a more powerful, constructive, creative way, where before I had stinking thinking going on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, today's all about ideas. So do you have an idea that you can, your stories are fantastic. I could sit and listen to them, and I'm moved, of course, by the passion that you have inside of you and the connection that you have. I think many people can admire that and feel like, Lou, how can I get that connected? Do you have some ideas on how we every day can just get started in this direction?
Take a deep breath, relax, and surrender, mm-hmm. and open up, mm-hmm. and ask what you need in this life. And if you put Yeshua's name in there, it's going to take it to a whole new level. That's from my humble opinion to say. But,
it's beautiful.
But beyond that, you can read about different books out there to help you start learning how to love and forgive, but also how to start thinking more powerfully. And start realizing that we are these beautiful, ingenious, creative beings, mm-hmm. that have this infinite potential within us to create possibility after possibility, especially with His hand in it, right?
Right.
So, but another thing too is that, we need to start thinking about, like what we're doing with our lives. Like every time you have a thought, is it really yours? Or is it really going to
make me
serve you?
You know what sneezing is? I always say it's like God saying, yes, yes.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. Bless you anyway.
Thank you.
So, but that's this idea of these emotional experiences that we have. We are choosing, yes. from moment to moment whether we want to be happy or sad.
It's a great point. We have a choice and we get to choose how we think. And so you mm-hmm. can choose to decide that this is how I'm going to live my life. This is what I'm going to decide from
yes.
this vision. This is how I'm going to go forward.
Yes.
I think choice is a big part of it because many of us are feeling like I'm conditioned or I'm forced or I have to. Ultimate choice is always there.
Yeah, but it's our choice. Mm-hmm. And when I started learning to choose powerfully, that was constructive and creative and uplifting and fulfilling and but I started becoming more, what I would say, intentional.
Yes.
But even right down to what I started eating and drinking, because
yes.
I was led to get off the cooked processed food and so all that, dead food and all that. So I started learning how to eat fruits and vegetables and herbs. And I learned how to soak seeds, how to germinate seeds, how to even make yogurt out of nuts and seeds. And I learned how to do fasting, 1 day a week. But I got to 100 days of juice and water. And then I got to 40 days on water. I did all kinds of things like that to cleanse and heal and regenerate, right? But it's all possible. We have so much potential within us. I remember meeting a guy, he became a mentor to me 26 years ago. I met him, I thought he was 41, maybe 42, and he was 75.
Right.
And
Let's reveal to the audience your age, because you all saw Lou pick himself up and almost levitate on the chair, but the strength and the precision and the balance. And you are, may we reveal?
71.
71.
August will be 72.
Yeah.
And
so you've been living this very pure life because
50 years.
Longevity is your goal. What?
Oh gosh,
Tell me.
Whether I live 100 years or 200 years or 500 years or 5,000 years.
Amen.
This is about just, leading or doing my best to inspire people to surrender to God for one, and connect with Yeshua, because he's the master of all the masters, King of all kings. From my perspective, based on what I've learned, based on what I've seen, based on what I've experienced, knowing what I know, that's kind of like bottom line for me. But also realize that we can actually think by choice how we want to choose our way of thinking, and start realizing that we are beautiful, and we're brilliant. We're ingenious, creative beings, and we have this potential within us. My last mentor, he did this for 30 minutes.
Wow.
And my record is 3 minutes holding this position. That's incredible when you think about
really
that.
Is.
So that's my goal in the future, to just be able to
You'll make it. I know you will. You'll get there.
But more importantly is to spread the message and just keep doing it over and over and over, right?
Absolutely.
But know that you can. If you think you can, right?
Exactly.
But if you believe or know in your heart that God does exist, nature does exist, and it can actually serve you if you do it in a certain way, without altering it, without destroying it. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. I love it. So inspiring. Well, you heard Lou talking about how you can inspire your life and really connect with yourself, really use your tools and your skills and belief. I think belief was really what I took from this interview. And we all need to believe in something, whatever name you attach to it, whatever you decide it is, believe in that, and believe that entity, that God, that creator, that universe, that one power wants you to succeed. It wants you to live a great life. It wants you to have the best of the very best for you. And you can do that by connecting with you and living in that pure way and following those values, and really knowing that your skills and your abilities and your talents were given to you as a gift to bring to humanity, to inspire others, because what you have is unique like no one else. Mm-hmm. And your gifts and talents are just waiting to be seen and experienced. And you can make a big difference in people's lives. Well, we want to thank you so much for being here. We're here Monday to Friday on 11 a.m. Eastern Time, showing you all the different ways that you can ignite humanity. If you want to watch this episode again, go back to ignitehumanity.life/watch, and you can see this episode and all the other episodes with all our amazing guests and the wonderful people that are joining me live in Los Angeles. If you want to help us ignite literacy, go to our donation page, ignitehumanity.life/donate, and you can donate to our Schools of Hope, where we are bringing hope to the lives of children in impoverished nations. And your $1, $2, $5, $10, it all helps buy bricks in our school. And these are recycled bricks that are being used by pulling plastics out of the landfills and made into bricks to build walls, to build schools. So we absolutely need your support. Go to ignitehumanity.life/donate, and you could make a big difference in igniting someone's lives. Well, I'm going to wrap up and see you tomorrow. Big hugs and kisses to you guys. Go out and have an ignite moment in your life.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.